August 15th marks the start of the next Double XP event, and this time it will be vastly different than it has ever been. No Proteans, no portables, no dummies, no Silverhawks, no XP boost from coins of enchantment or pull scores or anything else. Don't worry, premier artifacts are still available. And no Double XP token store. Just simple Double XP skilling like the old days. This is an experiment that I feel like will make the biggest impact on the future health of Runescape, and in this video, I'll tell you why. Also, not to worry, if you have Proteans or any other form of MTX related skilling items, you will be able to use them during the next double experience that will see its release in and around November time. So, why during double XP? Well, Jagex said the following about it. The vast majority of the items in this list are at their peak usage in double XP, which makes sense. Let's be honest, you get the most bang for your buck when using them during this time. By disabling them during their peak use, we can get our best look at the game without them, both in the data and from your feedback. Before we dive deeper into this, consider leaving a like to help me out and subscribe. We're very close to our goal of 10k subscribers by the end of 2025, and I will be making a video regarding the best methods during double XP without Proteans or any of the other items. So what makes this such a good experiment, in my opinion of course? Well, I think, and kind of know as it's simply a fact, Proteans, dummies and other skilling items acquired through Treasure Hunter are making core skilling items and methods less desirable. When was the last time you ran an agility lab or used actual essence to train up runecrafting? Because the majority of you guys probably use Silverhawks or Protean essence to train these skills, so did I. Which is something Jagex will probably see in their data. Less agility and runecrafting experience gained, as to most people these skills are quite miserable to train. Although, I'd argue with time runes, runecrafting isn't that bad, but agility especially will be trained a lot less. This will show Jagex that they need to do something about the skill, as people simply ignore most the core methods, which, let's be honest, in the case of agility, they probably already know. Yet, this same logic also applies to all the other skills in a positive way. Which methods or skills will people actually gravitate to? Why does this happen? What makes these skills better than the others? I'd argue most skills that have a good alternative to MTX item training, like thieving at dwarf traders instead of dummies or smithing plate bodies as protein bars kind of suck, will probably see more activity versus skills that have good Proteans like herblore with the shakes, hunter with the traps or the earlier mentioned runecrafting. This will allow Jagex to gather information by gathering data and our feedback on why we decided to do other skills or simply play less. Sure, I get it, you saved up your Proteans and you can't use them till November, but this experiment and the possibility of future changes could impact this game in such a positive manner. Cause, let's be honest here, if there was actually a fun agility method that gave good experience, you'd probably not mind doing it. Sure, Silverhawks are super chill, but mainly because they're good experience and all the other methods really suck. Yet, if there was a good alternative, you wouldn't mind it as much. Sure, yeah, Silverhawks will always be the chillest way to train it because it's just a passive 99 or 120, but the core methods are just so bad and so slow and so click intensive. But more importantly, something I mentioned in the previous MTX related video and can now go into a little bit more detail on, is that these items are probably the most harmful, besides XP lamps I guess, to the health of the game. Not only does it make it so the economy around actual skilling items is out of whack, because you use protein logs over something like magic logs, or an archaeology training dummy over actually training archaeology and buying the supplies, it also affects the experience rates, thus also affecting Iron Man. This is not a case of, oh, if I don't use it, it doesn't affect me. A mentality I unfortunately see a lot of in the community around Treasure Hunter. If you don't like it, don't interact with it. Sure, there is some truth to that, but the flip side is, even if you don't use Treasure Hunter and get the skilling items, you still will be affected by it. The new training method for herblore can't be better experienced than the shakes, because why would people want to pay money to get them then? This applies to all Protean/dummies. If the core methods are just as good or better, either in fun, XP, GP or all of them, then why spend money on spins to get these items? Don't forget, Jagex is a business at the end of the day, who will make sure to give you all the reasons to spend money. So yes, this is the most important MTX experiment, because this could see a full-on rebalance of experience rates, methods, and all sorts of skilling related fixes to make it actually desirable to interact with these core activities. Let's take cooking for example. It actually has terrible experience rates for a 2025 skill, especially a viable one, and proteins make it bearable. Less people doing it during double XP will show them that it's a less desirable skill to train and will push them to either introduce a better method or simply increase the experience rates. The only thing that kind of confuses me of this whole experiment is the double experience store not being available. I personally don't like it being there in the first place, and I get the whole aspect of all the buyable things with experience related things like the coin of enchantment, the scepter and stuff, because they are disabled, so it would be a bit weird if you can buy them but not use them. But the skilling outfit part is kind of strange, because most of those skilling outfits and the way to obtain them is kind of irrelevant or just not fun to do. But that is the whole reason why it was introduced, because they know that this is the case. Like, they know that Gnome Restaurant or Flesh Powder Factory are not desirable things to do in the game, so they introduced them to the double experience store. So I don't really see the whole point of them disabling it or having it enabled to begin with, and they're kind of in that same boat because there are actually no long-term or short-term plans for this to remove it or keep it. So if you have feedback for them on this, do it. I actually have some feedback, because I think just make a better method if it actually sucks to obtain it now. Like Gnome Restaurants for example. It's kind of irrelevant content, so instead have the fort kitchen give you orders to cook for the people at the fort. For example, cook 50 rocktails. And when you hand them in, you don't get any supplies back, but you get a big chunk of experience and maybe some points to spend at a store where you can get the skilling outfit, maybe a pet, or even something else that is really cool, like a cosmetic override or whatever. Anyway, overall, this will be the most important MTX experiment of them all, and I can't be more excited. I will be streaming during double XP next week when it goes live at 2 PM game time. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below, leave a like on the video, and subscribe to help me to get to 10k subscribers by the end of 2025. And my name is Chevalric. See you guys in my next video.